this sheet we have a list of our products with the product name and the prices for them. And they've all got a product ID. And then on the second sheet, we've got what we've sold. So what I want to be able to do is to type in the product number in for it and the quantity and for it to work everything else out. So I just type in 101. I want that to bring up that that is a wireless mouse. So rather than having to type it every time, we can use the lookup to go and do that. The other advantage of lookup is when it pulls in the price, it'll save us mistyping. It will actually take the price from the list. So what we're going to do is create a lookup formula in here. Multiple ways to do it. I'll do this, but you'll find your own way that you actually prefer. But this is more about the understanding of the formula. So I'm actually just going to type it. So if I type lookup, the first thing we have to do is tell it what to look at. So we want it to look at the product ID that we have just typed in. So we just put that in. And then if we use a comma, then it's actually asking us for the table array, big words, but just where's the table of the things that we're looking up. So I'm going to switch to the products table, and you can actually just highlight all four in the way like this. And then if we just put in a comma, that will take us back. And now we're going to tell it what column that information is in. So it was the description was in column 2. So we just put in column 2. Now, products, there could be 101, 106, 107. If we don't use an exact match, which is what I'm going to put in next, it will just give you the next one it finds. So if it can't find 101, it will give you the answer for 102. Obviously, not much use. There is scenarios where that may be needed, but on this one, we want it to only return 102. So that is an exact match. Now, you can use true and false. You can use 0 and 1. Minimal typing for me, I just use 0. And that means it's got to be an exact match. So I've typed all of that. I'll do this a couple of times so you'll get to see what it does, but when I do, it tells me 101 is a wireless mouse. If I change that to 102, it tells me it's a keyboard. If I change it to 107, there isn't a product 107, so it comes up with not applicable. We just put that back to 101. Right, quantity, we change it for every time, so we just put that in. I just added a few extra formulas in, so if I just put in a 2, and now we want it to pull the price. So to save us having to go and look at the price list every time, we want it to pull up. So it's very similar. We're going to use a lookup. I'm going to do it slightly differently using the formula button here. So if I click on here, and if I type in V, now the V stands for vertical lookup. You also get H lookups, which look the other way. So vertically, we're moving across the columns. Horizontally, it moves up and down the columns, up and down the rows. Right, so we've got VLOOKUPs. If I click on Go and double click on here, and it's just a different way of doing it. So it's going to ask us where the value is. Well, we typed it into here. So you could just type in A2, or I'm just going to click on it. And then where's the table? So you click in the next one, you go to products, and you just highlight the table again. And then what column was it in? Well, the price was in column 4. We count the first column as 1. So the product ID was 1, product name was 2, category 3, so the price is in column 4. And then, as I say, you can use the true or false here, or the 1 and 0 like I used before. So the other way of doing it, and a lot of people still use false. And so when I click on OK, it puts the formula in for me. And again, I'll show you that working. So 105 is the webcam, and they are $49.99 each. I've just put a formula then to multiply the two of them together. So we'll just go down that. They've bought 2 mice, they've bought 3 of these, and they've got 1 of 5, and they've bought 1 of these. What you have to do is actually copy the formula down. So it doesn't, we just entered it in the top one. Multiple ways to do that as well. Some people like to use Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. You can just click on the corner here, or you can highlight them all and use a function on your keyboard, Control-D for copy down. But the quickest way is just to do that and just to pull it down. So you'll notice I used a formula looking at A2, but when I've copied it down, it's A3, and when I've copied it down, it's A4. It's got a 0 on that one, it's got a false on that one. It really depends on what you're used to and but me, minimal typing, a 0 is a lot quicker. So what would happen now is you save this as your template. Every time you do some sales, you can put it in. But say this is the sales for the week. I'm going to put in 101 again. I'm actually going to use Control D to copy it all down. You can't see that on the video, but I used that on the keyboard. And there was 4 or 5 of them. Then the prices have gone up. You don't need to go down every column with the wireless mouse or with the webcam and change the price. You just change it on your master price list. So I'm going to say that the wireless mouse has gone up to $16.99. And if I switch back to the sales tab, you will see that every occurrence, so this would be quite a long list, but I've only got short a few examples, you'll see it's changed to $16.99. So hopefully that is of use for you when you're using lookup formulas.